What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer A Day with TK. It is a hot evening here.
Humid.
In Findlay, Ohio, and the Yeti and I are suffering in the beer shed, checking out a new beer. Now, beer we have today is called Cry of the Blackbird. This is a Blackberry and Boysenberry Sour from Barbarian Brewing out of Boise, Idaho. And the Yeti has been singing this brewery's praises for years.
So you mispronounced the name of the beer.
What did I say? Isn't it Cry of the Blackbird?
Cry of the Blackbirds, plural.
Oh, my bad. Sorry to the other Blackbirds. I was only giving respect to
Do you
one.
get the reference?
No, what is it? Cry of the Blackbirds. What's that from?
That's an Amon Amarth song.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I'm a casual Amon Amarth fan. I do listen to Amon Amarth here and there when I'm at the gym. The Yeti works when Amon Amarth goes on tours with them, so he gives me some CDs. And I will say this. I listened to some metal back in the 80s, like, you know what I mean, Metallica, Megadeth, all that stuff, but kind of don't listen to it as much. But I will say he gave me some Amon Amarth CDs, and I do quite enjoy them, although I must admit I'm not that familiar with the song because I'm not a mega fan like the Yeti.
So
Is that a big song I should probably know?
it's an old song. It's a more classic song. A very popular song of theirs.
I'm still talking Twilight of the Thunder Gods and all that. That's why I listen to it at the gym.
That's a great album and a great song.
That's a banger for the gym, bro. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But this brewery here, I always sing it huge praises, and I found out over the years that they're big Amon Amarth fans. So back in I don't even know what year it is now or month. Back in April and May, I was out with Amon Amarth, and once again, I was lucky enough to have a day off in Boise, Idaho. So of course, I had to go to Barbarian Brewing. It's one of my favorite breweries in the country. And while we were there, I looked in their beer cooler and saw they had this beer, so I had to buy it. I was hoping to do it with somebody from Amon Amarth, but it never worked out just because of scheduling and time or whatever.
That would be wild if you did a video with them on the beer.
So I saved it to do it. I saved it to review it with you.
There you go, the backup band. Big TK is the backup band. I'll take it. That's your loss, Ted and the other gentlemen. It's your loss. I'll drink the beer now. I think it's pretty dope that it has that. This says 2023, so it's got the year on there. Old world style, new world flavor. I will tell you this. I've wanted to go to Boise forever. I almost moved to Spokane, Washington, which is kind of close to the border, before I even went to law school. When I was still in law enforcement, I actually talked to some sheriffs out there that had a job lined up for me. And I didn't go. When I started doing some research on Spokane, they had an inordinate amount of sex offenders, and I had young kids, and I was like, I think I'll pass on that. Philly, you might get shot, but they ain't going to rape you first. You know what I mean, dude?
Right.
Were they trying to diddle you out there? And I thought, I don't know if I want to go there. That being said, I've heard great things about this brewery for years. He's bought back beers from this brewery every time he goes out there, and thrilled to be able to try this one. Most of them are cans that are crowler type cans on site, where this is actually a proper bottle, so should stand up better for the travel, you'd think. Now, this is 7% ABV, does magnificently on the apps, 4.06 on Untappd. Nothing on Beer Advocate, because I think there weren't enough check-ins. So, but Blackberry Boysenberry Sour sounds hell yeah to me, brother. You ready?
I'm absolutely ready. If you haven't checked out Cry of the Blackbirds, definitely check that song out.
It's so hot. Look, this is like sticking to me every time I put my arm down.
I'll tell you what, when we started out today, it was hot in here, but it was dry.
Yeah,
now it's
humid.
hot and humid. Like, the temperature hasn't changed, but the humidity's gone up.
Well, the temp's kind of dropped, you'd think, right, from a few hours ago, but it's just uncomfortable. Maybe these lights are bearing on me worse now than they were before, but...
Or maybe our fat has just inundated this building with
Now, to be fair, my house is constantly at 65 because I despise the heat.
As is mine.
So I came out and my glasses fogged up and all that. But now we're out here. We'll see, brother. Let's do it.
I'd rather sit in the refrigerator than an oven. That is a nice color already. Look at that thing.
I love Blackberry.
That is a beautiful color. Now,
I will say this. We've had the glasses over there in the cooler, and I have these ice packs. I have all these awesome things. What are they called? Like Nordic or Viking ice
Something
packs?
like that, yeah.
They used to ship my medicine in them, my medication. So I saved them all, and they're glorious, dude.
Your medication.
When I was getting those shots, I was getting these weird shots for my allergies. They're giving me some weird-ass shots, but I didn't like them because they hurt. It was something you had to, like, inject in
That has a very soda-like head. Look at that. It's like very...
Up and down. It's like a Coke's head. Yeah, like a Coca-Cola.
Very fizzy.
But then rapidly recedes.
Yes.
Dissipates.
Just like soda.
It looks like a cherry soda in the glass, honestly.
It does, but that
Like,
is
When I lived
That
in
is dark.
Philly, we had this one that was called Frank's Black Cherry. It's called Wishniak Cherry, and that's kind of the color. You can't see a damn thing through that.
I was going with Boylan's, but
I'm holding it straight up to the light. I'm straight to light. I can't see one ray of light through that.
no, not at all.
Opaque color, probably not on the chart. I'd say it's like a deep,
It
deep,
might be
deep
on
purple.
It might be on one of Don's famous charts, but not on one of these.
No, Don got some different stuff.
Yes,
This is just a deep, deep purple, like the band.
like the band.
All right, let's give it a sniff.
Oh, this has
That's nice.
that sour note in the scent, in the smell that makes my mouth water. I've discussed this before on my channel
It's
ad
like
nauseum.
an umami beer almost, like that
Right,
umami thing. Like
there's a certain scent that when I smell it in beer, it just immediately makes my mouth water, and this has that.
well, but though, I mean, I will say a lot of there's a little thing on the side here. Blackbirds are mysterious, magical creatures, almost as magical and mysterious as the Brett and Lacto blend that we used for this beer that was aged in wine barrels for over a year. Blackberries and boysenberries are added for last month, giving the beer a beautiful red hue with extra dimensions of complexity. Now, this says we should have had it in snifters. I should have broken out for this. This is worthy of a sniff.
Well, it's a good thing we're such professionals that we jumped right into the beer without even looking at the beer label
Man,
or
look,
discussing
my
the beer
piggy's
label.
out, though, so it's all right.
Because it even says that it should be served at 45 degrees, which is by the time we pour it, it probably is.
No,
'cause
I
it's
think
so hot.
No, I think it's 45 degrees Celsius out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you missed on here? Probably
Listen,
not.
you bought this beer here. That's your responsibility to read all that
It's your channel.
Listen, bro. It is what it is. You ready?
I'm definitely ready to taste this one.
I didn't even sip it. Oh!
Yeah.
This is Sour Beer Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
This is Bismarcky. This is two Bismarckies. This
Funky.
is a properly funky sour beer. And it's not like, if I try hard enough to find a tiny bit of tartness, it's there. This is lip puckeringly sour and magnificent.
Like sucking the cheeks in sour. I mean, this is funky.
The minute it hits your lips, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
now, body. It's almost kind of light. Medium light.
I don't know if my mouth can get over the sourness
To
to
detect the
even
body.
detect the body.
I think that's why, no, the body's lighter than you would think.
But it is-
But the sourness is so big
And so bold.
that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a big body guy, if you guys know that on beers. You bring me a
You are a
stout
big body
and
guy.
is what it is, dog. Game recognizes game. Normally, body is super important. This is a bit lighter, but the flavors are so big that it does not matter. This is maybe the funkiest beer I've had in a decade, maybe or more. This is magnificent with the funkiness. You pick up the berries. Normally I think you get like sweet with a hint of tart or sour. This is the opposite. This is backwards in that it's just like a funky, it's like Bismarcky punched you in the face, right? Funky. And then you get a little bit of the fruitiness, a little bit of the sourness, and it kind of like rounds it out a little bit. Now, what do you think about the wine barrels? Do you get that?
I do get a little bit of oak in the very back, like kind of lingering, kind of subtle oak on the edges of it.
But I think you have to drink it first.
Yes.
And let it,
Let it linger.
yes.
Like the cranberries.
Rest in peace. Dolores O'Riordan, beautiful woman, beautiful Irish singer. Rest in peace, my dear.
But if you have to, it's not up front, but it's in the back end.
Yeah.
After you swallow, you get some of that nice oakiness, but it's subtle.
7% ABV.
Not at all. No
this
way.
could be 0% ABV. 'Cause you can't even get to the ABV. The funkiness is just so big, man. The fruit flavors are so good.
I was going to say, somehow the berry flavors come right through that funkiness in a nice, balanced way.
What I like about them, and this is, let me say this, like I'm a fan of berries, blackberries, those kind of things like that, raspberries. Blackberries are not cloyingly sweet.
No.
Despite what blackberry flavored treats you may have had, pastries, sodas, blackberry is not cloyingly sweet. It has a natural funkiness to it, a natural, dankness to it, or whatever you want to call it. This has it, brother. This is magnificent. If I were to make a sour, this would be it.
This is amazing. Now, I will admit, I've been going to Boise and Barbarian for a long time. I've really spoke highly about this brewery, love this brewery, love their beers, so I'll admit that I'm kind of biased. If you were going to rate this on Untappd, what would you give it?
6. I mean, 5's the max. I would give it a 6. I love it.
Exactly.
It's one of the best sour beers I've ever had in my life.
Absolutely. I'm right on board
there. It is what it should be. And I will say this. This thing doesn't try hard. Sometimes you have fruit flavors, like, say you have something like raspberry. I love raspberries, but they're a little sweeter. They have a little bit of like tartness or sourness to them, but they're not super sour. I think the fruits they picked work with this perfectly. You still pick up the taste. There's nothing sweet or artificial or cloying about it. You do pick up a tiny bit of natural sweetness, tiny bit. But the funkiness and the sourness is there, and it's a home run. Now, I will say this. I saw it aged in wine barrels and was like, I usually don't care for anything. When you do aging, I like dark beers, stouts, and whatnot in whiskey barrels and basically nothing else. Because most other stuff, I think, when you age them in barrels, I'm not a huge fan of the oak taste, to be honest. I know, like, a lot of times you get them in beers, and I can live with it, but it's not my favorite flavor, my favorite taste. Everything about this is magnificent. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. They do great beers. I'm shocked how good this is.
See, I do like some of the flavors that oak imparts into beers, if it's done correctly. I don't want it to be overly oaky, but a nice oak outline is great.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry, I drank it before the video finished because it was just so damn good.
And one thing I do have to say about the brewery, every time I go there, they have, I don't remember, it's 20, 22, 24 beers on tap, and they are great because they run the gamut. It's not 20 IPAs and then 4 other beers. They run the gamut. Every style you can think of, whatever your flavor are, your taste, your preference, they generally have something for you, which is amazing to see
and
at a tap house.
And their rarity in this day and age.
Right.
Now, I will say this. I think as craft beer seems to be collapsing, everywhere I go, like, I've talked to multiple beer reviewers about this. People in Louisiana, in Illinois, Iowa, different places. What used to be all these beer shelves has gotten smaller. It's now alcohol pops, THC things, all these weird other drinks. And look, if that's your thing, all the power to you. It ain't for me. And I want to complain about it, but I will say this. It wouldn't be changing if people were drinking beer. So what's happened is, in my opinion, a lot of these fake beer folks that were, trendy mustache, Raleigh Fingers mustache dudes riding up in their penny farthing bicycles, dressed like assholes, have now abandoned craft beer and their PBR bullshit or whatever they were doing. All this stuff. They've abandoned it and now they've moved on to other things, which means craft beer takes a hit, sadly. And we've lived through this. I know it's happened multiple times. You've had these expansions and contractions. I guess we're not old enough to remember the original kind of early 80s somewhat boom, I guess, when craft beer started to blow up. But in the 90s, when I went to college in the mid-90s, craft beer blew up and a lot of them went under and kind of, it was that rebirth thing. And I think we're going through that now. Some of it, obviously, is pandemic-induced and stuff like that. But I'm glad to see people coming back doing good stuff. And I wish more people actually appreciated beers like this. You know what I mean? Because there's so much unique, good beer out there, but I don't know.
Well, the other cool thing they do, which kind of relates to what you're talking about, every time I've been there, they've had multiple different non-alcoholic beers.
That's cool.
It's not like a lot of these places where you go and they have the Guinness Double Zero or whatever. Yeah. They actually have multiple non-alcoholic beers. There's a range of beers for everybody at this brewery, even the people that don't want to drink.
The DD.
Right. Or those people just don't drink for whatever reason. They have multiple non-alcoholic beers.
I don't know if you've seen this. Recently, I saw someone saying that non-alcoholic beers is actually the biggest sector of beer growing, which is fine. I'd rather see a big NA section than alcohol pops.
Absolutely. 100%
that stuff's
agree.
Garbage.
100% agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like the cheapest, basest alcohol you could buy and tons of sugar. It's alcoholic Kool-Aid. But I mean, I don't know, people dig it. So, I mean, to each their own, I guess. But ain't for me. This is for me. So, Cry of the Blackbirds. look, I'm not even going to give it 2 thumbs up. I'm going to give it the horns up in honor of the Yeti, in honor of Amon Amarth. So, amazing beer. Thank you for sharing this for me. 5 stars, every thumb and horns up in the world. Magnificent beer.
Absolutely. And, as Louisiana Beer Reviews constantly says, go to the brewery and take a brewery tour. Check out the brewery. Go take a brewery tour of this place. They're amazing.
I will say this. This is not sponsored by the Idaho Commission for Visitation or whatever they call it, tourist board.
But it should be.
I want to go to Boise so bad. I can remember you messaging me years ago saying you're there, saying, Boise's got an amazing brewing scene. It's awesome. We're cold weather dudes, so I'm more of a fan of northern climates as well.
Right.
And I'm a fan of more mountainous climate, more mountainous type places like Idaho, then northwest flat Ohio I live in now. So check it out. Go out there. Let us know what you think about it. So, Cry of the Blackbirds, 2 thumbs up from us. Hopefully you liked the video. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. I got a link to the Yeti's channel down below in the description. A link to the Yeti. I don't know what's in there. I would have drank it. I got a link to his channel down in the description. So, give him a follow. See what he's doing all over the world. Touring with these bands and enjoying life. And, if you've had this, let us know what you think about it. Or if you've had any other Barbarian beers. I think he bought a couple home, and every one has been damn home run. They've been amazing. I need to get to Boise. Hey, till next time. We both drank it all. I don't know what to tell you.